right, back at it now as we dig back into this program. State Representative Mike Hoadley is with me. He's from the 99th District here in the Michigan House of Representatives. Mike, how are you?
Doing great, Steve. Thanks for having me this morning.
Tell me about the 99th. Where is it so people have a reference?
Yeah, so the 99th District is starting about the bottom of the Saginaw Bay going up through Oscoda. So if we were to use that ever so popular Michigan map, I'm from here to here,
Yeah.
over to about central of the state and down. So 4 counties in whole, and a couple partials. So it's right in the heart of God's country.
There you go. And the heart of deer hunting country for the last, it's in the middle of it now after opening weekend, of course.
You got
Yeah, big. I mean, Saginaw Bay, it's a sportsman's paradise, that whole stretch right there. Anyhow, you've got a plan here. And I think this is pretty interesting and pretty important, Mike, which is you've got a plan here that says we're only going to reward people with real economic rewards if they actually have job creation. How many times have we seen this governor among them? Oh, we're going to get all these jobs. We're going to give all this money away from the MEDC and all these other people. And then it doesn't happen, or the place goes bankrupt, or I mean, the list of failures is long and sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. There's definitely a history of failure going back over 2 decades. And the reality is over those 2 decades, it's cost the Michigan taxpayers over $20 billion with
Billion
very
with a
little.
B, $20 billion. And what did we get out of that $20 billion?
Very few jobs, a lot of overpromises, underdeliver. And over the last 2 years, it's been, $2 billion with 0 jobs created. And we look at the dismal failures of what we've had with the Goshen plant and the Blue Oval site, as well as Sandisk. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And we've had policies that, are waiting for a Hail Mary or swinging for the fences, wanting, one hit to get us, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 jobs rather than focusing on the job creators we have throughout the whole state.
Yeah, so how do we get there? Because, you're right. Overpromise, underdeliver. That's been a track record. Gretchen Whitmer, I mean, I can hold her accountable, but she's not the only one. Promises
Right.
of jobs would come from Republicans and Democrats alike. They're all guilty. And do they think that they're getting something out of it? Do they get, I mean, let me just be a little bit jaded here, Mike. Are they getting money into their campaign coffers? Are they getting something for themselves? What's going on here?
Well, I mean, we've seen that with the recent deal with the governor and, a $4,500 coffee maker, tens of thousands in trips to, a friend of her campaign. For the most part, the intentions are to create the jobs. But again, I think the plan has been very narrow as focusing certain types of job that would fit a political agenda rather than, look, we'll rebuild this economy one job at a time. And that's what this plan really takes hold of.
Yeah. So, all right. So, how do you get support for this? I mean, I agree with you because, look, I think the best ways to attract economic development would be getting rid of income tax, having better infrastructure, paring back our state spending, which is, $30 billion more annually than is spent by the state of Pennsylvania by comparison. I mean, it's remarkable. State of Georgia, same size state, also spends significantly less than Michigan. Georgia is basically the same size now. And yet we outspend them all and, talk about the law of diminishing returns. What do we get in return for any of it? I mean, Georgia has better roads. Pennsylvania has better roads. It's an easy example. And here we are spending more and more and more and spinning our wheels. I mean, I'm a little frustrated. You are too, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're spot on. So we need to look at this as, the two I's in investment as well as incentives. Then we start talking the basis of what you're talking about here, which is, infrastructure. Energy is a major concern. Regulation reform, tax reform, workforce development. We have to look at all 6 of these major topics when we're looking at economic development and bringing the state forward. So then, we look at the past failures and we say enough is enough. And we're going to pivot to things being, when we talk about incentivizing, we're going to look at performance driven incentives, meaning perform, then get the incentive. And without that costing taxpayers upfront money.
Yeah, is that what other states like Georgia and Florida and Tennessee do, among other things? I mean, you see so much business going to states like that.
Yeah,
Why?
well,
What?
I mean, weather, obviously fair weather's an advantage, of course, but energy, those states there, we're not talking about clean energy mandates and an administration that's trying to drive technology rather than a free market prevail. And again, regulations, the cost of doing business, it's amazing. My counterparts on the other side of the aisle, they'll recognize that, oh my gosh, these tariffs, well, tariffs are a tax, and them taxes are going to get passed on to the consumer. I find it a little bit disingenuous that they don't also recognize that when you raise the cost of doing businesses in our businesses here in the United States, more particularly in Michigan, that also gets passed along to the consumer.
If I may, Mike, tax is a tax too. Actual tax is a tax. I mean, I'm just going to point out the obvious here. And if I'm not mistaken, Michigan was the only state in America last year to raise income taxes. The only one. Others were eliminating taxes. And in fact, in Florida, and I support the Axe MI tax push by the grassroots of Michigan. Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida right now trying to eliminate property tax in Florida because it's a tax on seniors. Their property tax keeps going up, but their fixed income doesn't. Not enough to keep up with property tax assessments that are killing our seniors. Look, we've got to stop this nonsense. Florida's going to set the standard again. We need to look at best practices. I'll give you the last word here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the reality is nobody should ever lose their home to taxes. That goes against the very foundation of this country.
Agreed. It does go against the very when you work your life and you pay your mortgage and your mortgage is paid off and you have to pay rent to the government basically to live on the property you paid for. To live, after you paid income tax on the money you used and after sales tax and all these death taxes and every other tax they can imagine, leave the property alone. People have a right to, at least their homes, their primary home, at least have a plan for no tax on your primary home. How about that, at least? Anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, those are the things we need to be reviewing. This is a very complex issue the way, over a long period of time. Yeah. Again, you know how it is. The government's a hungry beast. And the more you feed it, the hungrier
the one in Michigan's a lot hungrier. The one here in Michigan's a lot hungrier. Mike, I got to leave it there. Greatly appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Steve.
We'll talk again. Thank you, sir.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.